Joining us now on NASCAR Preseason Thunder, the pride of Launceston. Did I say that correctly?
No, you didn't. Launceston.
Launceston, Tasmania, Australia. I tried, though. You have to give me credit for that, at least.
Yeah, give you props for that.
Thank you, Marcos. Before we talk about an exciting 2009 campaign, I'd like to give the fans really an idea of your background. And we were chatting earlier. I was surprised to know that you actually raced in Europe for a while prior to coming to the States.
Yeah, that's right. I've just been fortunate my whole career to move around, and I've lived in a lot of countries and a lot of places, and I grew up in Australia, raced Formula Fords and things there, and then I progressed to Europe in the late 90s and was teammates with Daniel Weldon and a few other greats. Jenson Button was over there, Kimi Räikkönen at the same time, so that was really my apprenticeship over in Europe, racing small Formula cars. Got through to Formula 3 and then quickly realised that I was running out of time, talent and money and shifted back then to Australian V8 Supercar when I really started my full-on professional career.
In the V8 Supercar series, Marcos, it's a very competitive, basically a stock car series, but not specializing exclusively on road courses. Talk about that education there.
It really is a great little series. It's a combination, I think, between stock car and, say, Daytona prototype racing. There's a little bit of technology in them, but they're still, 5-litre pushrod V8s running around with a standard road car shell. You have to still have standard road car panels on those cars. You'll have, a fender and a spoiler and open suspension, but the basics of the car are still out of a production car. So it creates a lot of great racing, and there's a real affinity between the road car version and the race car.
I read on your website that you were intrigued by NASCAR. What specifically was it, or was it a collection of things?
Well, I grew up, my dad was an ex-racer, and then he retired and raised a family and started another business. But I remember, my first recollection is going through all the old Autosport magazines in his office. He had boxes and boxes of these old magazines, and scattered all through them were and I'm talking from the 70s, early 70s, these magazines were from, and they had the Daytona 500, they had the King in there, they had, David Pearce and the Wood Brothers and 21 car, and it just intrigued me because I saw these photos and they're racing at Daytona in 1970s with 160,000 fans and racing for prize money that at that stage Formula One was an amateur sport. So it always intrigued me of what it was all about, and you just don't get the vision and the TV down there of NASCAR, especially when I was growing up in the late 80s, early 90s. So I just read about it and followed it and read some books, and as I grew into my professional racing life, I was drawn to NASCAR more and more, and I never thought I'd get here. I always followed it. I came across in 2003 as a race fan to Bristol and hung out with the crowd and drank a couple of beers and stuff, and from that moment on I was like, I've got to come to America and try this NASCAR if I can. Even if I don't make it, I just want to come and have a look.
And now in front of us, the 2009 season, a full Sprint Cup Series effort with JTG Doherty Racing and with Michael Waltrip Racing. And here's what Michael had to say about working with Marcos.
I loved the fall, what we saw out of him. He took our cars and on a couple occasions outrun me and Ruderman with them and had the fastest of our 3 cars. So really impressed with Marcos and very, very entertained by his spirit and his desire. He's like, look, dude, I might not be here come June or July. This is my chance. And he doesn't feel like NASCAR owes him anything. He's just here to do what he loves to do, which is race a car.
Now, Marcos, you are in a great situation. Tad Geschichter has been around the Nationwide Series forever. Brad Doherty, people know him as a broadcaster or basketball player. Heck, he owned a Busch Series car way back in the 80s. So he's been around. What about an extra level of comfort with Michael Waltrip?
Well, you never know what Michael's going to say. So,
good point.
I really respect those comments you made, and I really hope that I do help Michael and MWA really go to the next level. I've never raced on ovals before I came to NASCAR, and that's something that most people don't understand. I've only been running on ovals for 3 years, so I'm learning. And if I can, join into what David and Michael are doing on the racetrack and learn from them and get the most out of myself and help them, it's just a great combination. I've got great team owners in Brad and the Geschichter family, Tad and Jody, just great people. given me the keys to drive their Cup car for the first time, which is just very special. And I want to pay everybody back. We've got sponsors that are locked in and that are committed to 2009, so we don't have any financial problems. We've got a great team in Michael Waltrip Racing. I know that I'm going to have great gear, great engines, great support. It's really down to me to learn and grow and hopefully get it done for everybody and make everyone proud.
Well, Marcus, you've already done yourself proud. 10th in Nationwide Series points a year ago. You got your first win at Watkins Glen. Best of luck in 2009. Looking forward to seeing you running in the Daytona 500.
Yeah, I need a little bit of luck, that's for sure. Thanks.
All right, thanks so much. When Preseason Thunder returns, Larry Mack stops by to talk a little tech. Plus, Mikey Waltrip takes us behind closed doors at Michael Waltrip Racing. Stay with us.